Ready? Right. So
Yeah.
It's Tony Quant for Top Rope Press. I'm here with Impact Wrestling superstar Eddie Edwards. Eddie, welcome to the UK.
Thank you.
Obviously, you're over here. You've done a few shows over the weekend. Can you just talk to us about the difference in wrestling in the UK compared to the States?
Well, you know, right now, there's no denying that this is a hot time in the UK. Like, I think the best wrestling right now is in the is in the UK. I think it's hot in general, wrestling right now. It's a high point, but seeing all the great stuff that's happening over, the great shows. There's so many different companies over here that are just putting on amazing shows because there's so many talented guys right now. So it's nice to get over here. And the fans are usually pretty rowdy over here. It's just, I think it's in your nature, which is awesome. Like, just, you know, hooligan type, just hyped up. You know, it's always a good atmosphere. So I enjoy coming over. It had been a while in between. I was over in October, but then before that it had been a while. So I'm glad I got to come back so quick this time. It's nice.
Yeah. And do you foresee, or has there been any talks, do you know, backstage at TNA in terms of TNA bringing a show across to the UK? Something the fans have wanted for quite a while.
You know, I would hope so. Do you mean tour-wise or just on TV-wise? You mean like bringing a live show? Or?
Yeah, bringing a live show, yeah.
Well, I mean, so usually, obviously, you know, for the past years they've done the Impact Tour. And just because of everything that was going on behind the scenes, the change in ownership and stuff, there's too much to kind of be able to formulate a plan for the tour this year. But I have heard talks that they're still trying to put one together, hopefully for this year, if not, you know, next year. But I would love to. I mean, speaking for myself, but also for a lot of the guys that I talk to, it's a great time to come over. Like, that's a highlight of the year. We look forward to bringing the show over here, go on a tour, just, you know, get in front of the crowds, and the crowds are always so great for us when we came over. So that is something that I hope we get back sometime soon, because I know a lot of guys miss that, and it's in the works. So yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it's sometime soon.
Excellent. And you talked about the change in ownership at TNA, and obviously it's been a reason probably why it's on the back burner. How have you seen things as an athlete in regards to the new management and the stuff? Has it actually made any difference to your day-to-day job? You know,
no matter what's going on, like behind the scenes and stuff, I've said it many times, like, I'm a wrestler. Wrestlers are gonna wrestle. You know what I mean? That's our job. So regardless of what's going on behind the scenes, regardless of the rumors that we hear or they hear or whatever, we're gonna go out there and do our job. It's nice that, you know, we have a direction, like we know things are going forward and stuff. But, you know, my personality in general, I'm pretty laid back, I'm relaxed. Like, if I can't control it, I can't stress out about it, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm gonna do my job and I'm gonna ride that wave and just, you know, see where it takes me, really.
Cool. And moving on to yourself, and I mean, 2016 was very, you know, you had a sort of a yo-yo year. The highest of highs and some of the lowest of lows. Obviously, you lost a close friend.
Yeah.
You won the world title. You won the exhibit. I mean, can you just sort of summarise 2016? What were your sort of real highlights? I
mean, it was pretty surreal. The year in general was just, like you said, a wild time, really. Topping it off by, you know, winning that world title. It's, you know, it's why I'm a professional wrestler. It's why anybody gets into wrestling. They want to prove that they're the best. It's why anybody should do anything to be the best. And, you know, one of my dreams has always been wanted to be the world heavyweight, you know, champion of, you know, TNA, and to be able to do that in the fashion I did it by, you know, beating a guy like Bobby Lashley, who was just an animal, you know, like an absolute freak, just a natural athlete, you know, an unbelievable wrestler, MMA fighter, like, to be able to beat him and try to, you know, prove that, you know, I belong in that category was something, you know, really cool. And just, and the timing of how it happened, you know, I had lost my friend previously, and I wrestled with him, started wrestling with him and stuff, and so to be able to do that was, you know, something special to do it, you know, not just for myself, but for him and for Davey and for all the fans who have supported me all along. who've always believed that I could be at that level. It was something that, was very reassuring to me, and it felt like I proved to myself that I could be in that position, that I wanted to be the name associated with TNA Impact Wrestling at that time.
And how difficult is it moving from being known as a tag team wrestler to a singles wrestler?
I think one of the special things or unique things about myself and Dave is, as far as the Wolves, is we can go off and do our own things. Like we can go off and do our singles career and still come back as a tag. Like we can be, obviously I think we've proved all along that we can do our singles, have single success and have tag success. Like I don't feel like we're the team that people thought was, oh, they're just tag team wrestlers. We're tag team wrestlers, but we're also our own commodity, So, we were doing, obviously I was doing a lot of tag stuff leading up to that, and then to be able to go from tag to just basically straight up singles, it was a little bit of a shock, obviously. I'm used to having my partner there be able to tag in and out and stuff, so changing that up and going to singles stuff. It was a nice wake up call, really. It was unfortunate, obviously, why it happened, but in the end, I think it worked out in the best case that it could have.
Yeah. And touching on 2016, obviously we had Total Non-Stop Deletion as well, which was one of the biggest shows for the promotion in the year. Talk to us about that and what you sort of felt going in. Did it meet your expectations? Did it,
Yeah. Expectations. I don't know. I had no idea what to expect. After seeing the first couple ones and the Delete or Decay and that stuff, it was something that I was jealous. Like I wanted to be a part of it because and obviously the popularity and how cool it was, and just the atmosphere and the feeling of what was going on. I wanted to be part of it. When they told me I was gonna be, I was psyched. It was because I didn't know what to think, what to expect. And, all right, Total Non-Stop Deletion. All right, let's see what happens. And we get there. I end up getting speared through a wall. I end up wrestling in the woods, fighting Lashley throughout the woods, the Hardy compound. I ended up wrestling on a volcano. These are things that I never thought, I would ever have to do. Yeah, hey, that's what I said. I said, yeah, so I've done that now. I've checked out my bucket list, wrestling a volcano. When I started training with Killer Kowalski, at no point did I think he thought I would ever end up on a volcano. He'd probably be pretty angry that I did, but it was, it exceeded whatever I thought might have happened. It was way beyond that. It was also really cool to see, the effort and the amount of time everybody puts into it, especially like Matt coming up with all this stuff. It was really cool to see a lot. I like it. I enjoy watching the behind the scenes stuff too, because it gives you a sense of how much effort goes into that. And it's a long process. A lot of people probably don't understand, but it's a long process, and for it to come out the way it does is amazing. And Jeremy Borash does amazing work behind the scenes as well to really help take that to the next level.
Yeah. So obviously, as we touched on, you had a bit of pretty crazy 2016. How can you sort of surpass the accomplishments you made in 2016 in this year?
It's going to be hard to do, but that's the goal I'll set for myself. You know what I mean? Like, obviously the goals all along: go out there, put on the best match that I can. Represent the company to the best of my ability. And now that I feel that I have been elevated a bit as far as can be in the main event scene, can do the tag team stuff. Like, I think it gives a lot of options where I would like to obviously go for the heavyweight title again. Lashley or whoever may have it. But I would also like our tag team to thrive. So I've always said all along, like, I would love to be able to be tag champions, be the world champion, and I would defend both titles on one show. Like, I think that would be something very different, and I would be willing to do it. It's an interesting story, like, and those are the goals I said. Let's just keep going forward, but also you have to think about the goals for Impact. I said from the beginning, 2017, this is going to be the year of Impact Wrestling, and I truly believe the direction that we're going is just onward and upward, and I feel that a lot of people, they're gonna realize that something special is going on.
And do you feel any more additional pressure when you put in these main events, or do you thrive from that?
It's something. I feel pressure from myself. It's pressure that I put on myself. I think if you want to be in that position, you have to want it and you have to be prepared for it. So being the world champion, being in the main event, I have that extra pressure on myself, but that's what I enjoy. That's because it's got to force you to push yourself. You're gonna be able to take it to the next level. Like you're gonna elevate your game, or else you're not gonna be in the main event anymore. It's sink or swim. So I do everything I can to make sure I swim.
Yeah. And just looking across the rest of the wrestling landscape, obviously there's a lot of new talent coming up and through the rankings. Is there anyone specifically you'd like to work with that you've perhaps not had the chance to work with this year?
In TNA?
Just across the sort of wrestling world.
Well, actually, from TNA as well, Drew Galloway. We wrestled once for the Grand Championship, but I would love for me to get that title back, and I would love to defend it against him. But I really like his style. First of all, we get along outside the ring. He's one of my good buddies. But I love his style in the ring. I think we can mesh very well if we have some time. I think we could tell a nice story in there, and he's just super talented. So. And he's doing unbelievable stuff right now. He's all over the place, taking over. He's everywhere. Yeah. You blink and he's in a different country. So I would love to do that for sure.
Great stuff.